Providence over toward Manchester. Still some heavy snow there. Then from the Connecticut Valley westward, it really starts to taper off. Just some light snow, but still enough where it's accumulated overnight, and there's some slippery travel. Here's the Doppler radar in New York City, a much more defined area of tapering off precipitation in northwest Jersey and on up into northwest Connecticut as well. But look at this batch of moisture here. Boy, I'll tell you, if that got close to the Cape, we're talking about snowfall rates at 3 inches an hour there. A little patchy freezing rain moving across Raleigh-Durham this morning and the Carolina Piedmont. Please drive carefully here. Temperatures well below freezing already. And this is an area of light snow to coat what is already a very, very snow-packed area, as much as 12 to 18 inches of snow from the mountains of Tennessee and North Carolina up into the mountains of Virginia. So a nasty drive this morning with a little help from Ma Nature as the final pocket of energy, if you will, from this thing is pulling on off toward the east. All right, as we take it down to the south, we do have a tornado watch out until 7 o'clock Eastern time for Florida. Lightning data once again showing an active squall line working its way south and east, and as it does, sure enough, we're getting the showers and the thunderstorms, and some thunder and lightning pretty heavy right now around Melbourne, as reported last hour by the current op there. There's Daytona, Orlando, Melbourne, back down toward Tampa, and as you can see, this line is moving on down toward the southeast. To get a better look at the definition here, we'll show you the Doppler out of Tampa, and you can see it here. Tampa off to the north. We go across to Cape Canaveral, and you can see this area of showers and thunderstorms. Look like they're pretty much straight line now, but a little bowing of the line here could indicate some possible active winds in the next, I don't know, 20 minutes or so as the squall line moves on through. Out west, our new storm continues to plow on in. And with this storm, sure enough, we are continuing to see more and more moisture in time. And it's moving onshore this morning. I'll show you the radar out of California, and you can see that. Here's Bakersfield. Most of the rain, though, Paso Robles, Santa Barbara, up to San Jose. Not too bad in San Francisco yet, but all of this continues to head onshore. Let's take a look at your forecast as we get into this weekend. Notice the highs on Saturday. Again, a bitter cold day. Wind chills once again a factor. Probably colder than yesterday in Chicago, if you can believe that. 6, 7 below for a high temperature, maybe 5 below if you're lucky. Down to the south, obviously the biggest change, though, because it was warm in Atlanta yesterday and it was warmer in Columbia, cooling down considerably there, and even cooling down in Florida a little bit later on this afternoon. So once we get into tomorrow, northern Florida even stays in the 30s. How about that? These are highs again. Tonight, not a bitterly cold night across the south, and tomorrow, once again, single digits teens, so still pretty chilly all across the east. But signs of warmer air coming in with our Pacific system, and you can very, very well see that as we get on in toward Monday. So we're going to jump up from 40 below and 20 below for highs to single digits, which is a pretty nice change, especially if you've been dealing with this for about a week and a half, which they have been here in the upper Midwest and the Great Lakes. So our storm again winding down. Windy conditions behind that, not so much because of the gradient between the low pressure and high pressure, but the high pressure is so strong that it just wants to build down in here behind this thing and take up all the space. So it will be breezy, and there will be some blowing and drifting of the snow. And some of that snow that fell last night over the areas that got mainly ice will cover up the ice and may just kind of hide what is underneath. So be extra careful this morning as you head on out. Notice down to the south, showers and thunderstorms for Florida. Another batch of rain coming into California, as we mentioned. Some of that could actually get even heavier on Sunday. There may be a break tonight, then boom, another piece of this thing comes in on Sunday, and we think it'll even get further inland as well. Some snow showers across the Great Lakes. Looks like a little clipper actually sets up to move across the Great Lakes and eventually into New England as we work our way in toward Monday. But
while ahead of the front, in advance of it, warm, moist air. And that air mass, dissimilar air mass setup along the front is contributing to the fact that we may have some volatile weather. And it's another very, very cold morning through the nation's midsection, with record lows being quite numerous. For instance, Waterloo, Iowa, -31, Green Bay, Wisconsin, -25, 25 below zero in Rapid City, South Dakota this morning. But I give you a hint that in the extended forecast, it may be close to 80 degrees warmer in Rapid City by Tuesday and Wednesday next week. How about that for a temperature change? Well, we'll talk more about that in the extended outlook. Des Moines, -23, records at Lincoln, Omaha, Norfolk, Nebraska, Chicago, 18 below this morning. Colorado Springs, -16, a record-setting morning at South Bend, Indiana. Cold, but not quite as cold, and snowy this morning in Boston, 15. Same in New York City, about a half a foot of new fluffy snow in the Big Apple overnight. 17 in our nation's capital. It's cold in the south, too, but not the sub-zero Arctic stuff to the north. 20 in Atlanta, 14 Jackson, Mississippi, 13 this morning in Little Rock. It's 3 right now in Oklahoma City and Amarillo, and 16 with some light snow in Dallas-Fort Worth. There is, by the way, a little minor upper-level disturbance heading through the southern plains, kicking up the very light snow around the Metroplex, around Oklahoma City and Amarillo. Main storm right here along the eastern seaboard, and it is going to head out to sea really quick today. So you folks in southern New England and around the New York City area, parts of New Jersey, will see a quick burst of snow this morning, and then the snow will quickly taper off as the day progresses. The ice is letting up in the Carolinas, fortunately. Still a lot of folks without power. Thunderstorms heavy in parts of Florida. Here's the big Arctic high-pressure system through the nation's midsection, as noted by the -18 in Chicago this morning. Double-barreled storm, eastern seaboard. You can see the snow. It's fairly widespread. You can see the leftover patchy ice in the Carolinas. A few flakes of snow around Atlanta, Birmingham, and Huntsville this morning. And again, those heavy-duty thunderstorms in Florida. We'll check those out on weather radar in just a second. Here's the snow in the northeast. The northern edge of the snow is right about in the southern part of New Hampshire, around Nashua, snowing lightly in extreme southern Vermont, and just about to Albany in eastern New York State. Heaviest snows farther south, though, and you can tell that by the fact that the radar shows darker green south of Boston near Brockton and Plymouth, snowing steadily over the Cape, also at Martha's Vineyard and Nantucket. Southern Rhode Island, southern Connecticut getting the heaviest, steadiest snowfall right now. Still snowing steadily in New York City, but as you can see, the back edge, the snow, the area where the snow lets up and ends is very close to you. So you may get another half an inch to an inch of accumulation, and then the snow ends and the sun may be out before the day is finished. Light flurries around D.C. and Richmond. They're going to be over quick. A little bit more light snow in the mountains of West Virginia, Western Virginia, and East Tennessee, where the snowfall amounts have been very heavy. Up in Union County, for instance, north of Knoxville, 16 inches of accumulation. Same for Smith County in southwestern Virginia, and Sussex County in Delaware, 14 inches of snowfall from this storm so far, maybe another half an inch of accumulation. Big storms this morning, not of a severe nature now. We haven't had any severe thunderstorm warnings lately. However, get set, you folks in Port Charlotte, Vero Beach, and Fort Pierce.